Hello you guys, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel yet again. Oh my gosh, I've missed making videos. I've missed being on here. I hope you guys are having an incredible July. I almost said June. But yes, I know it's July. So I just wanted to make what will hopefully be a short video because I don't want to, I don't want to like exert too much energy or too much attention into this, but at the same time I do think it's important to talk about. I think so many of us, whether you are trans-identified or whether you're not, but so many of us that are dating in and out of Transville, we often, it's almost as though we all become casualties of love to some degree. I mean, I can definitely speak from a transgender perspective and talk about how through dating, through being on Tinder, through being on all of these different platforms and dating sites, I can definitely tell you how I've had wonderful experiences and I've also had really, really awful experiences. And all of these experiences, in a way, they shape your perception, not only your perception of men, but it also shapes your perception of what you believe that you can have and what you believe that you can attain realistically in a relationship. And now if you're going to use that as the benchmark and be like, oh well, I've been on Tinder for the past year, or I've been on Badoo or this dating site or OkCupid or whatever for the past year or year and a half, and I know that this is how guys are, or this is when a person says this is what they really mean. Well, you can't know that, because for the most part I think we are not clairvoyants and we're never able to truly know what the other person's intention is. However, I do think it's important for all trans-identified individuals or anyone dating in Transville to always use discernment. So for you, my beautiful, sparkling trans soul, when you're online, let me give you an example of me when I would be online talking to people. There would be days where I would get, the weirdest, most random messages from these overeager chasers, from these overeager DL guys, from these guys would just hit me with these messages. And more often than not, they were very triggering. And I think for the person on the other end of the phone, on the other side of the technology, the person on the other end of the phone certainly doesn't know you and doesn't know what you're going through or what you've experienced or how you've been victimized by men. Or maybe the person has an idea but chooses to be an a-hole regardless. It doesn't matter. We're going to assume the other person texting you this horrible question like, how big are you? Or like, when can we do this? Or sending you this random unsolicited dick pic, and you're just like, what? We're going to assume they don't know. Now, for me, whenever I would get these messages, I try to be friendly to everyone when I first speak to them, because I don't want to emit negative energy for myself. I don't want to bash people and get into a war of words, because I can easily do that. So I try not to. But, I'd be chilling, go on Instagram, go on my phone, go do something. And I get this message, somebody asking me, as though I'm a sexologist, as though I am the Google expert when it comes to anything related to sex and the trans experience. And my honest gut reaction and feeling was one of anger. It was honestly one of anger. It was kind of like, dude, go ruin somebody else's day. Like, bro, you don't know me. Talking some mess. And the thing is, I think what angered me the most is that they wouldn't even greet you with a simple hello. It'd be like, hi, how big are you? Hi, unsolicited dick pic. Or, if you're ever on Grindr, girl, on these Hrunda streets, they just throw unsolicited dick pics first, and then they're like, hey. And you're just kind of like, hey is for horses, and it is not in my repertoire to keep company with beasts. So, I mean, like, that was always my reaction. It was always like I'd be really, really angry, and then I would feed into it, and I suddenly was building this collection of negative experiences without even realizing it. You know what I mean? I'd speak to one person and they'd see something crazy. Then the next day I speak to somebody else and they see something crazy, and it continues and it continues and it continues. And so often we don't realize that we're doing this because we're open to love, but sometimes opening ourselves up to love also opens us up to some of the toads that we'd rather avoid. So I started creating a collection of experiences and slowly, built up a healthy anger and resentment towards all men. Oh, the misandry. But was it healthy? And was it the kind of life that I wanted to live in? And the answer to that is no. I started to pick up that, if I was in a bad mood, perhaps it's not a good idea to go on a dating site, or it's not a good idea to be jumping on Instagram. Perhaps it's a good idea to take a social media break and just calm myself. And when I am in good spirits, understanding that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words truly can never hurt me. It is only my interpretation of what this person has said that can hurt me. I can simply choose to speed read this nonsense and delete and block. I can definitely choose to do that. I can definitely choose to exercise discernment. Look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you need to entertain every idiot that talks to you on Tinder. You don't have to be anybody's psychologist but your own. The patience that you so willingly, lovingly give to everybody else, baby, it's time for you to give it to yourself. And if, talking to these guys online aggravates you, makes you unhappy or uncomfortable or triggered, it's best to take a social media break just for a little bit. Now that I've talked to my goddesses, I need to talk to some of the guys that send us these text messages. Some of these guys that send us these messages on Grindr, on Instagram, that are trying to find their perfect, trans goddess. And if you are still listening at this point of the video, then I hope you're one of those, rare unicorns that are just filled with love. Now understand, if you have this desire, you've always wanted to be with somebody like this. And, sometimes the world can be so lonely, and we look for people, the ideal people, the people that we think are going to be a match for us. We go out looking for our other half, our other sexual half, our other component, someone that's going to bring the magic and the spark that our body's been screaming for, brah. We all want that, And you come across somebody on Tinder, on Grindr, on, social media, somebody who seems so open-minded and, who's talking about these things and who's gorgeous. And the excitement in you makes you run haphazardly. Sweetheart, if you run too fast, you're going to slip, fall, and hurt yourself and hurt the other person. I found that because of this, often guys will send me texts and be like, oh my gosh, you're so sexy, I've always wanted to be dominated, this, that, and the other. They've not spoken to me like I'm a human being deserving respect or admiration. The assumption is that, oh, well, we're going to talk about your family and what kind of person you are, later. I really, really desperately want to talk about this. A good guy wouldn't do that. A good guy would put his best foot forward. That's what he would do. That's what a good guy would do. He'd ask how you're doing. He'd try to get to know you. The thing is, when you see something beautiful, something that you want, something that you want to be a part of, even if you just want to experience it sexually, you come prepared. You come correct. And I think that's what everybody wants. They just want to see your truest intentions, for you to come correct, because I promise you, even if you're only looking for fun, there's a way to ask for these things. There definitely is a way to put it out there. And it's not demanding sex in the second sentence. I know it might logically feel like that's what you should do, just to make sure you're not wasting anybody's time. But realistically, when you do that, you actually push people away. I was actually going to go see this guy. Like, we were going to have a date, and we'd been planning on meeting up, and I was really eager to meet him. And I sort of explained South African dating culture, that over here, it's common that people go out, we wine, and we dine each other, we get to know each other, and, over time, like, the night proceeds and things happen. But in other cultures, people confirm before they've even met that they're having intercourse, and you meet at the hotel and you have this rampant wild sex. A lot of girls are not interested in that. And the mistake that most, if not all, unfortunately, until they learn better, trans-attracted men, is that transgender women are women. They're not men that have the same urges. Our bodies, because of hormonal changes, don't work the same way. And our emotions don't work the same way. Yeah, like, the common joke is that transgender girls are crazy and they're erratic and they're emotional. We're emotional because we're women. You step into Transville thinking you're gonna be sleeping with cross-dressers dressed as men, and it's never that. It's never that. So, my best advice for you, my dear, sweet, trans-attracted man, before you ruin all your chances, Google. Google's free. Google's free. Learn, study, find out about this. One of my exes, he actually said he was reading somewhere in Cosmo about how to please a woman. And he said, he locked the door, he closed the blinds, he turned the lights on, he was like, I need to focus, this is important. This is important, I need to photocopy this, I need to always have this information. And I just laughed because he understood that if he wanted something, he needed to give something. I'm going to leave it at that. And so, with my channel, I'm definitely going to be moving away from talking about sex. But if you want to hear about my sordid sex life and how, like, all my experiences, and there are so many things I do want to talk about, but obviously I don't want to get a graphic on YouTube, so let's save all that for Patreon. I'm going to put a link in the description, and please come check it out. It's only like $6 a month, so check it out, and that's going to be my Patreon goodbye. Alright, I love you guys so much. I'll see you next time. Bye.